Let's be honest, intelligence isn't some divine gift handed to a few lucky bastards at birth. It's a weapon, and like any weapon, it can either collect rust in the hands of the weak or become deadly in the hands of the disciplined. But here's the thing no one tells you. Sharpening that weapon hurts. Growth hurts. Evolution hurts. And if you're not willing to bleed for your mind, you don't deserve to wield its power. Most people avoid thinking too hard because deep thought threatens the illusions they've built around their lives. It's more comfortable to scroll, binge, and blame. But the Stoics, the ancient assassins of ignorance, knew that discomfort was the gateway to a sharper intellect. They trained their minds like warriors train their swords, relentlessly, painfully, obsessively. This video is not for the weak. This is for those who want to build a mind so sharp it cuts through deception, confusion, and mediocrity. Let's begin. 1. Your brain strengthens with work, not luck. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." People love to say he's just gifted, as if intelligence is a birthright. But the truth, intelligence is a consequence. It's the result of force-fed books, sleepless nights, and mental warfare with yourself. Your brain, like your muscles, grows when it's forced to work. Not once, not sometimes, every day. A Stoic doesn't wait for a lightning bolt of inspiration. He builds the storm himself. Every time you choose to think deeply, instead of numbing out with distractions, your mind adapts. Every time you wrestle with a hard idea, your neurons fire differently. And every time you push past confusion, you are building something most people will never have. A mind that can endure complexity without collapsing into fear. Want to be dangerous? Strengthen your mind until no amount of chaos can break it. 2. Keep adding to your skill set. Stagnation is a silent death. The moment you stop learning is the moment your brain starts decaying. The Stoics understood this. They weren't just philosophers. They were warriors, statesmen, strategists. They never settled into one identity because they knew the truth. Diversification of skills is diversification of power. Most people build their lives like glass towers, tall, flashy, and fragile. One hit, and they shatter. But a Stoic builds like a fortress. Each new skill is a new layer of stone. You lose one, you adapt, you fall, you rebuild. Ask yourself this: how many skills would you have to lose before you're useless? Exactly. Keep adding. Become anti-fragile. 3. Believe in your ability to grow. Growth isn't a motivational poster. It's a blood oath. If you don't believe your mind can evolve, it won't. That's not psychology, it's physics. Belief is the ignition switch of transformation. The Stoics didn't hope for growth. They demanded it. They viewed life as a series of obstacles sent by the gods themselves, not to destroy them, but to forge them into something greater. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Another quote by Seneca: "If you don't believe in your potential, someone else will define your limits for you, and they'll benefit from your weakness." You want to become intelligent? Start by killing the voice in your head that tells you you're not smart enough. That voice is not your friend, it's a parasite. 4. Develop your emotional awareness. Emotions are not the enemy, but if you don't understand them, they will hijack your mind. Stoicism is not about becoming a cold robot, it's about domination. Domination over the storms that brew inside you. Most people are emotional slaves, reacting without awareness, drowning in every impulse. But the Stoic studies his emotions like a tactician studies the battlefield. Anger, a warning signal. Fear, a compass. Sadness, a chance to detach and reassess. When you understand your emotions, they become fuel for intelligence. They sharpen your pattern recognition. They teach you where the wounds are. They show you what your ego is trying to hide. Stop running from them. Start interrogating them. 5. Feed your brain with books. The modern mind is malnourished, starving not from lack of food, but from lack of thought. You are what you consume. And while others feast on TikToks and empty entertainment, the Stoic mind dines on ancient fire. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for the world, but to keep himself sane under the crushing pressure of ruling Rome. That book has outlived empires. If you won't sit with books, you don't deserve wisdom. It's that simple. Books are time machines, weapons, sacred tools of war against your own ignorance. Every page is a punch to the face of your limitations. Read like your life depends on it, because it does. 6. Push your mind every day. You don't become intelligent by thinking when it's convenient. You do it by thinking when it hurts. Every single day, you must challenge your thoughts, debate yourself, break your ideas into pieces, and rebuild them stronger. The Stoics called this contemplative action, engaging your reason like a gladiator stepping into the arena. You want a mind that's unbreakable? Then suffer through the mental weightlifting no one sees. Do math problems even when you hate them. Write essays even when no one will read them. Learn ideas that confuse you until they become second nature. Push until thinking itself becomes a habit as natural as breathing. Comfort is the death of intelligence. Kill it. 7. Conversations improve reasoning. You know what makes your thoughts stronger? Collision. The Stoics didn't hide in caves with their thoughts. They tested them. They sharpened their philosophies in public squares, with enemies and allies alike. Because they knew something most people don't. Your ideas are worthless until they survive battle. Talk to people who disagree with you, especially the smart ones. Don't argue to win. Argue to understand. Let your ego take the hits. Let your certainty get punched in the throat. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve from someone who knows things into someone who understands truth. You'll find that intelligence doesn't come from being right. It comes from being tested. 8. Challenge leads to change. Epictetus wrote, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." You don't become a savage thinker by coasting through easy wins. You grow by dragging your mind through hell. Pain is the tuition you pay for transformation. Most people avoid challenges because they fear what they'll find on the other side, their own weakness. But Stoics saw challenge as sacred. They didn't run from difficulty, they hunted it, because every challenge is a mirror. It shows you exactly where you're soft, slow, lazy. Every time you confront mental resistance, whether it's understanding a complex idea, learning a brutal lesson, or facing a truth you'd rather ignore, you rewire your brain to become stronger, more adaptable, less breakable. You want real intelligence? Step into the fire and stay there until something inside you cracks and upgrades. 9. A strong body supports a sharp mind. You can't have a brilliant mind in a broken body. Your brain is not some floating cloud of thoughts. It's hardware. And if the hardware is glitching, overheating, and full of trash, don't expect your software to run smooth. The Stoics trained like warriors for a reason. They knew that physical discipline was the foundation of mental discipline. It's not about aesthetics. It's about power, hormonal control, energy, focus, stamina. Testosterone is the fuel of ambition. Mobility is the secret to energy. Strength is the blueprint for confidence. Go lift, go sprint, go fight. Not to impress anyone, but to fortify the foundation of your intellect. Because nothing kills your intelligence faster than low energy, inflammation, or brain fog from a weak, untrained body. 10. Eat clean for focus and clarity. If your food is making you slower, foggier, moodier, you're sabotaging your mind before it even has a chance. Modern diets are engineered to numb you. Sugar, seed oils, processed trash, it's all designed to keep you dull, docile, and dependent. A Stoic mind is built on clarity, focus, minimalism, and that starts with what you put on your fork. Don't eat like the average man. Eat like a philosopher preparing for war. Protein sharpens you. Fats fuel your brain. Fasting resets your system. Hydration boosts cognition. Eat like your IQ depends on it, because it does. 11. Art unlocks innovative thinking. The Stoics weren't just stoic. They were artists, poets, musicians, thinkers who understood that logic without imagination is a prison. Art is not weakness. It's a different battlefield. When you engage with music, painting, storytelling, you stimulate non-linear intelligence, pattern recognition, symbolic thinking, metaphor. This is how you train your subconscious to work at a higher level, to make connections the average mind can't even perceive. You want to think like a genius? Stop consuming garbage and start creating. Write, sketch, design, build worlds in your mind and bring them to life. Art doesn't make you soft. It makes your thoughts multidimensional, and that's what separates strategy from brute force. 12. Put learning into action quickly. Learning without action is mental masturbation. Most people love consuming knowledge, but never apply it, so it dies inside them. You want to cement intelligence? Act fast. Apply immediately. The Stoics weren't armchair philosophers. They were men of the battlefield, courtroom, and empire. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write about resilience, he led legions into brutal winters and made decisions that affected millions. He lived it. That's why his mind was sharp, because it was tested in motion. You read something valuable? Use it today. Challenge a belief, change a habit, make a move. Speed kills ignorance. 13. Notice your subconscious thinking. Your subconscious mind is always whispering. Most people just never listen. The Stoics were masters of inner dialogue. They knew that most of our thoughts aren't even ours. They're downloaded from culture, trauma, fear. But the truly intelligent man watches those patterns like a sniper. He studies his emotional triggers. He catches his assumptions. He tracks the thoughts that lead him into self-destruction. You want elite intelligence? Learn to observe the noise beneath the noise. Why did that insult bother you? Why did you hesitate before making that decision? Why did you procrastinate that task? Ask yourself these things without judgment, but with precision, because the mind that can observe itself is the mind that cannot be fooled. 14. Critical thinking starts with questions. The masses want answers. The Stoics wanted better questions. Real intelligence is not parroting facts. It's piercing reality with questions that make people uncomfortable, especially yourself. Why do I believe this? Who benefits from me believing this? What am I avoiding? What's the truth behind this illusion? This is how you escape mental slavery. The world wants you obedient. The algorithm wants you passive. The system wants you dependent. But a man who questions everything becomes untouchable. Every question is a knife, cutting through noise, deception, manipulation. Ask questions that make your worldview shake, then rebuild it on stone. 15. You hold the power to become better. Here's the brutal truth most people never accept. You are the architect of your intelligence. Not your parents, not your school, not your genetics. You. And if you're still playing victim to the idea that some people are just smarter, then you've already surrendered. The Stoics knew life was unfair, but they didn't care. They weaponized their pain. They turned wounds into wisdom. You don't need permission to evolve. You need will. Every day is a decision. Train or decay, sharpen or dull, learn or rot. You are holding the pen. You are the blacksmith. You are the scientist, the philosopher, the commander of your mind. The only question is, are you ready to take the responsibility? The final war isn't out there. It's in you. You've just walked through 15 brutal lessons forged in fire and written in blood. These aren't life hacks. They are weapons, each one capable of rewiring your reality if you have the guts to use them. And here's the paradox most people will never grasp. The smarter you become, the more dangerous you get, not just to others, but to the systems built to keep you ignorant, dependent, and weak. You want to change your life? Start with your mind. Sharpen it like your survival depends on it, because in a world full of noise, manipulation, and lies, it does. Become the mind they fear, because once your mind is free, nothing can control you again. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.